Your Excellency, Ambassador of the French Republic to Greece, dear Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change, Your Excellencies, dear professors and distinguished guests, and most prominently, Mrs. Gaill, it is an honor to be here with you, Mr. Karagiorgis. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to address you this evening under this very fine invitation of the French Embassy of Athens, and as the Prime Minister Envoy for the Ocean and the President of the Environment Committee of the Greek Parliament. I would also like to thank the French Institute of Athens for its hospitality and their very warm welcoming. Your Excellency, let me also congratulate you personally on the continuous engagement, on your dedication to strengthening Franco-Hellenic relations and your committed leadership on ocean and climate matters, indeed. And congratulate also your team for the excellent work that they are doing here in Athens. There is one fact that we must face. Our ocean is under greater pressure today than any other time into recorded history. According to NASA, the World Meteorological Organization, and the European Copernicus Climate Change Service, the warming of the seas is continuously accelerating. And 2024 marked the highest ocean temperatures ever observed, both on the sea surface and the deeper ocean. Heat waves result in bleaching corals, collapsing fisheries, and shifting entire marine biodiversity and ecosystems into something different. Our Mediterranean Sea is warming 20% faster than the global ocean average. We are witnessing sea level rise, salt water intrusion, and alarming frequency of marine heat waves. And these numbers are alarming to us because the Mediterranean, although small in size, holds 7% of the global marine biodiversity. And after all, it is home to all of us. In the Mediterranean, as well as for the rest of the ocean, the stresses are also alarming and seriously undermine its ability to provide ecosystemic services. Among others, we witness biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse, ocean acidification, deoxygenation, unsustainable human pressures such as overfishing, marine litter, coastal pollution, especially pollution from plastics and microplastics, and rising stress, potential deep seabed mining. Our guest of honor will explain more details about all these stresses. So let me just say that the ocean cannot adequately compensate for human overuse and neglect. In view of the collapse of the marine ecosystems, we must awake and we must react. It is our role, the role of our generation, to speak up, to become the voice of the voiceless marine species, the voice of the ocean that suffers and cannot speak for itself. The good news is that we indeed live in an era of a new awakening. Our people, and especially the young generation, slowly but increasingly realize that the ocean is not merely a magnificent view, a magnificent horizon, or an economic frontier, but ocean is the very foundation of our planetary health and of life itself. The ocean produces almost 50% of the oxygen we breathe. Every second breath you take, it comes from the ocean. And also it absorbs roughly 30% of the human-made carbon dioxide emissions, acting as our greatest ally in the fight against climate change. And it stores more than 90% of the excess heat trapped in our climate system. It contributes to our food security, sustains global trade through shipping, and supports many emerging sectors of our economy, such as the bioeconomy and the marine renewable energy sources. It also contains the 90% almost, even more, of the Earth's drinking water, and it is considered to be the 7th most important economy on Earth. The State of the Ocean Report 2024, published by the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission and UNESCO, in combination with a special report on the ocean and cryosphere in a changing climate, published by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and other seminal reports that we read, they are all public, and they provide to us all the necessary information we need to know in order to assess the situation. So now we know, and the question is, do we take the necessary steps to protect our ocean? For instance, what is going on in Belém these days? At this very moment, the 30th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change is convening in Belém, Brazil, a site of profound symbolic significance, where the greater Amazon meets the Atlantic and where the forest, river, and the sea converge. Brazil has positioned this conference as one of the implementation rather than more ambition, highlighting that nature, both forest and the ocean, must again become central to our climate strategy. During the last years, the discussions about ocean protection under the framework of the climate negotiations have started slowly finding the place that they deserve, but we are not there yet. We cannot acknowledge good enough the importance of ocean in the climate stability. In Belém, we must deliver a robust implementation package that reflects the close connection of the ocean and climate systems. That means we have to integrate ocean-based mitigation and adaptation measures into NDCs, the nationally determined contributions, and our national adaptation plans. We have to ensure that the global goal on adaptation recognizes coastal and marine resilience, including mangrove restoration, the seagrass protection, sustainable fisheries. All these, they should be priority actions for us. And we have to operationalize blue finance within the new collective quantified goal on climate finance, that is, in the new stream of finance under the climate negotiations, we have to put ocean priorities in order to ensure that the ocean is not the missing chapter of the global investment frameworks, and we have to address the ocean finance gap. But will Belém deliver? It remains to be seen. The EU itself calls for a further integration of biodiversity, land restoration, and ocean protection, this time into the European NDCs. It has adopted already a new Ocean Pact that introduces a strategic framework and an initial budget of 1 billion euros to boost sustainable ocean governance, research, and the blue economy. It will finance initiatives ranging from marine ecosystem restoration and the digital twin of the ocean to innovation in sustainable shipping and coastal resilience. For Greece and France, this fund represents a major opportunity to channel investments toward blue transition projects and blue innovation, to strengthen the ESG implementation in ocean industries, and advance divestment from non-sustainable activities that threaten our shared marine future. Greece has already established 2 additional funds, the Marine Innovation Fund under the Ministry of Shipping and the new Decarbonization Fund for the Islands under the Ministry of Environment, amounting to more than 1.5 billion euros. In 2024, under the leadership of the Prime Minister of Greece, Mr. Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Greece also led the 9th Ocean Conference, where we announced an additional amount of 780 million euros for projects regarding the protection of the marine environment, the greening of the shipping sector, and the achievement of the 30 by 30 goal biodiversity goal by the establishment of the 2 new national marine parks in the Ionian and the Aegean Sea. But solely these efforts of our 2 countries of the European Union, they are not enough. Estimates suggest that we need at least $175 billion per year to build a sustainable and inclusive blue economy. And yet the current flows barely reach a tenth out of this amount. Ocean finance remains fragmented, small scale, and dominated by grants and philanthropy only. Countries and the private sector all over the world, they should do better than that. And like a few more points, As a matter of legislation, Greece has introduced comprehensive legislation for the marine spatial planning, aligned with the policies of the EU Marine Strategy Framework Directive, and strengthen the generation of scientific data and monitoring of marine ecosystems. In this last point, Greece and France jointly supported the establishment of a new, very important organization we should all need to know. On the occasion of the third United Nations Ocean Conference, UNOC 3, that France very successfully hosted, and let me warmly congratulate you, Your Excellency, for the success of your country in this. In many countries, among them France and Greece, we signed for the transition of Mercator Ocean International into an intergovernmental organization. This organization, indeed, Your Excellency, indeed, Mrs. Gaill, will stand at the frontier of digital oceanography, supporting ocean monitoring, modeling, and operational services for policy and society. And we should all foster and support the establishment and the full operation of this organization, because this is the organization that we all need in order to be able to develop more silent and more successful marine policies. And last but not least, one of the most important developments, I would say, that came after our ocean action concerns the ratification and the forthcoming entry into force of the seminal Agreement on Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction, the so-called High Seas Treaty, the BBNJ agreement, that now is able to protect the 2/3 of our ocean and the 50% of our planet. Greece and France should work together to operationalize this treaty and implement it. And also, since we are the two countries cooperating for so long, hand by hand, to protect the ocean and make our people prosper, I would propose that we establish an annual Mediterranean Ocean Governance Forum, maintaining the existing bridges among the parliamentarians, the ministries, the maritime authorities, the academic institutions, industry, and civil society, and continue this important dialogue that we have already successfully started. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we stand by the ocean. To protect the ocean is to protect our lives, our prosperity, and there is no green without blue. Thank you very much.